Hey guys, and welcome to this Crazy Talk Animator 2 video tutorial on how to use the assets, the characters, the props, the animations in Crazy Talk for presentations, for business demos, and for slides and other stuff. So here I have an animation of a character jumping up some stairs. Let me loop this again here. Click on the loop function, then we can see this animation playing about. So previously in Crazy Talk, if you wanted to export something like this, you would have to select your character or your project and then go up to the export tab and then to images. You can choose something like GIF and then sequence. But this would actually give you a collection of GIF sequences depending on how long your animation would be. You can get up to 25, even 30 or 40 GIFs, and then you would need another software to put all these frames together to create an animations. Well, now in Crazy Talk Animator 2.1, we finally have the option to instantly export something, quickly capture something for use in a presentation. So for example, let me go back here. Let's say I want to capture that moment there when my character is jumping at its highest, right there. I wish to use that in a presentation. Well, now I can simply select my character and go up to the render option, then quick capture to clipboard, and I could choose a transparent PNG, and I can also type, press the F7 key or function F7 on my Mac, and now this PNG, this character, this pose will be saved into my clipboard. Then I can open my presentation. Here I have a PowerPoint, and I can paste this just like that. Okay? So if I go full screen, you can see that I have a transparent PNG in my PowerPoint presentation. Now, Crazy Talk takes the resolution, depending on the resolution of the screen that you're using, Crazy Talk will sample from that resolution. So right now I'm running at 1440, I think. Let's see, 1440 by 900. So that's not bad. I can actually do this. I could stretch out my character, make him big like that. And then I can do the same thing, F7. And you'll see the difference in the size and the quality. Here I'm going to just Control V, which is a paste. And you can see my character now. So this is a neat little trick where you can just expand your character like that in the screen and then quickly capture it. So let me get rid of the previous one and scale this one down a bit because we want to do the animation now. So this is for the transparent PNG. Let me undo this to go back to the original pose. Yeah, that's working. So let's say I want to animate this. I want to export the animation. Well, I select the same, render, quick capture, but this time I go to animated GIF or F7. And I can choose if I want to loop this once or forever, or give it a special looping count. So let's just say forever here, and I'll leave everything else the same. We'll talk about this later, the image quality and everything. So let me just export this. And now that I have it in my clipboard, I can Control V and paste this. And you can see that we have our animation inside. Okay, but what if I want to get rid of that white background? What if I want it transparent, just like we had the PNG? Well, that's not a problem. You can guess what we're doing. Just click on transparent and do the same. Then we copy paste, and we have our transparent animated GIF inside of our PowerPoint. Really cool. Okay, so let me delete this one. Let me delete that one too, and bring this to the back. So besides being able to export a character like this, I can also do the same for the prop. Remember, though, we have that prop that's being animated. So if I select both of them and I do the same thing, transparent, I'm sorry, not that. I want to do an animated GIF. I can choose transparent. I can export this. And now we can have both the character and the prop as one animated GIF inside of my PowerPoint presentation. Go in, Control V, and voila. Very nice. Great. Now, the second thing I like to show you is what if I would like to optimize my background. Here, for example, if I paste the same animation that we have, you'll notice that there's a small little white outline around my character. Can you see that there? Around the character and around the prop. I can scale this up a bit so you can see it better. See that there? So this is because remember that I mentioned that Crazy Talk takes a screen sampling of the resolution that you're using. Well, it also takes a screen sampling of the background color that you have inside of Crazy Talk. Bring this up a bit. Since the background that we have here is white, then you will see that little outline around my character and my prop, that little white outline. But we can correct this. So the best thing you could do is look at the color of the background of the presentation that you're going to be using. And then in Crazy Talk, we want to go down to the project settings. And we would want to change the background color. So I can simply go down here, then background color and display, and I can choose a black color. Okay, and now I can do the same. I'll select it, F8, animated GIF, transparent, and let's see. Then now if I paste this inside, you'll see that it looks much, much better because now we don't have that white outline. We have a little black outline, and it's not interfering with the background that we originally have. So besides, it's not just for working on a solid background. If I have a colorful background or beautiful text like this, you can see that that black outline actually works well with it. Okay, so you can have a lot of amazing images and HD graphs in the back, and then you can have your animation in front. And if you have that black outline, it'll help you blend the edge with whatever you have in the back. Great. Now, this is for Windows, obviously, but if you export into Mac, there is a small difference, okay? With the Mac environment, when you save it to clipboard, you won't be getting that animation. So here, let me quickly switch over to Mac and give you a quick look of how this works in Keynote. Okay guys, so here we are in Mac. I'm going to open my Crazy Talk Animator 2 and I have my animation, or my character and my prop, and I have a black background here. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to open Keynote and I wish to drop in that animation. Now, in the Mac version, we have several options. I can use a transparent PNG as I did before. I can also export as a transparent MOV and also an animated GIF. So that's the one I want to do right now. Transparent, yes, image quality, and let's just export. Okay, quick capture to clipboard. So in the Mac environment, there's two options. Two things happen when I export. One, I save it to the clipboard. Two, it saves also to the desktop. The difference is that if you export an animated GIF and you just simply copy it from the clipboard into your Keynote presentation, just like I'm going to do right now, paste, then this will not have that animation. Let me reduce the size a bit. I can play this and you'll see that we have our project, but there is no animation inside. Okay, this is one of the things that we have to work with Mac. So fortunately, Crazy Talk Animator will save this onto your desktop automatically. So then it's just a matter of drag and dropping that animated GIF file, bringing it in, and then you will have this animation. And I can play this back. And now I have my animated GIF inside. Okay, so in Mac you also have some other options too. You can play around with this. So for example, I'm in Movie here, and I have the ability of replacing this GIF using the control functions, and I can also choose if I wish to repeat or loop this. If I'm repeating, if I want it to loop one way or back and forth. So right now it's just looping the normal way, just straightforward. But I can stop this and I could choose loop back and forth. You'll see something cool. Goes back and goes front all by itself. Mac also gives us the option of being able to trim this animation. So here, if I go to Edit Movie, I can go to Trim, and I can choose how long I wish to trim my jumps. So for example, maybe 1 jump, 2 jumps, 1 jump, 2 jumps. And obviously, if I go into full screen mode, you will see that animation as I have trimmed it. So that's pretty cool. I'm not going to go into too many details here with Keynote because we're going to cover this in the next tutorial where we're going to talk about creating special effects both in PowerPoint and in Keynote. So that's the main difference with Mac, where if you export directly to the clipboard, you will not get an animated GIF. You'll get more of a static PNG. And if you want to bring that animation in, then you simply drag and drop that from your desktop. Okay, great. Let's go back to Windows here, and we'll continue with the tutorial. Okay, so we're back in Windows here, and the next thing I'd like to show you is how to control the export range of your project. So let me go to my presentation here. Let me undo this, and I will Control N. I will bring another project inside. I have an announcer that I'd like to use. This is these projects, these animations are some of the new some of the new assets that we have for the new presentation bundles. We have some content packs like the Mega Presenter, and these packs are actually designed with a lot of animations and characters and props that are ideal for any presentation. But we're going to cover this in another tutorial. We're going to show you how to customize these templates and these animations. So here, I'm going to play this back. I have an announcer. Okay, he's just yelling about. So if I want to export a specific range of my animation, I can do that. I can go up to Render, Animated GIF, Transparent please, yes. And here we have something that's called the Captured Animation Range. So if I open the timeline here, 3D Motion, you'll see that this is my animation, and it ends at frame 58. Okay, and if I play this, it'll just loop over because I have the loop function on. So you'll notice that inside the timeline we have a little red flag right there at the edge. We have one at the end and one at the beginning. Also, down here in the timeline in the window stage, we have two little red triangles. We have one at the beginning and one at the end. So this is what we call the capture animation range. Here we have the values for that. Frame 1 and frame 58. Now I'm going to drag down on this red triangle at the bottom, the last one, and you'll notice, keep an eye on these numbers here, and also keep an eye on this little red flag up here while I move this. See, I'm going forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. So I can adjust the range of my animation. So how is this useful? Well, here I only have one motion clip, but imagine that I had 3 motion clips inside. So then I might want to extend the end of my motion clip, of my project clip, to encompass those 3 motion clips because I want to export all of them. Another way I can do this is simply by going into Capture Animation here in the Capture panel, and I can simply bring this value down, or I can type in a specific number, let's say 58. Okay, so that's just a little trick on how to export this. How to adjust the animation range both in the timeline and in the render panel. So obviously I can just export this, and now that I have determined that range, I have no problem in capturing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as many motion clips as I'd like to use for that animation. So I'm going to paste this inside. And great. Let's go to the next part here. The last part I'd like to talk about is how to adjust the image quality, the resolution. So with Crazy Talk Animator, we have this part up here, this part that says image quality. So you can choose if you want image quality 1, 2, 3, up to 5. So we're gonna test this out. I'm gonna go to 1, and I'm going to export this as it is. Hold up, let me bring this to the back. So it's capture range 1 to 58, transparent, yes, image quality 1, and let's try this. And now I'm going to paste this right about there. Okay. And what I did previously before creating this presentation, I right-clicked and I saved this as a picture. And when I saved it, I looked at the size, and for this particular animation that has 58 frames, the size of this animated GIF is 207 kilobytes. Now, I did the same for this other one. Let's say I go up to image quality 3 and I render this. So I paste this inside. Let me minimize it a bit. Okay, and then I saved this as a picture, and the size that came out was 438. Now I can do this for the last one. I can choose image quality 5. Now at this point you might guess why I'm doing this and why you have the option of choosing the image quality. This is because of the size. Sometimes when we're creating a presentation, it's very easy to get carried away with all these beautiful graphics and these beautiful photographs. And at the end, if we're working on a 30-page slide presentation, we can end up with a 40 megabyte 40 megabyte PowerPoint. And then it's extremely difficult to email this to someone because it's so large. So this is what we have the option. Notice that in the first one, image quality 1, this is the quality that we get. Image quality 3 is this one in the middle, and then image quality 5 is the last one. Now we could see a big difference between number 1 and number 5. We can even see a difference between number 1 and number 3. But when we're comparing number 3 with the last one, number 5, they look very similar. And if you look at the size, it's almost double. The first one is 207. The next one is 438. That's double. And then 719, almost double. So the best thing for us would be just to choose this one, the one in the middle. Obviously, this depends on what kind of presentation. If, for example, I'm just creating an animation like this because I'm going to use a small little icon, a decorative icon, something very small, then I don't really mind using a low quality one to save that memory space. So I can actually use this. If I'm going to use something that's going to cover half the size, half the height of my presentation slide, then I might want to use this middle one. Obviously, if I want the entire slide, entire full slide, then I could consider the higher quality one. But always keep in mind of those memory, those sizes of those files, because that can really blow up your presentation. Great. So that's it for this tutorial on how to capture PNG and animated GIFs for PowerPoint and Keynote. Please stick around. We're gonna have a series of tutorials designed especially for presentations and slides and demos. So watch those tutorials also. Thank you again.